Good evening and welcome to Drakewind Falls. We're back, episode 11, with our lovely Drake Wardens here on twitch.tv/Known World United, where we are every other Tuesday all summer long for RPG Week here on the channel. We're happy to be joining you this evening. We'll be going around talking a little bit about what happened last episode and then maybe giving a little introduction. A couple things coming up. We're excited on the channel. We are finishing taping our Star Wars trilogy, Scum and Villainy, which will be out later this month. And we've got some great news from the private chat. Warrior's Mouse is working. So, it's a big night for us. It's a big night for us.
It's been out of a job for like 2 years.
Yeah. Wow. When last we left our intrepid travelers, they had just escaped a did not catch your name giant Drake, and we're going to be having some adventures now that we've left the Merceive Wood and had a little interaction at the end, and we're on our way to the Dragon's Maw. So I'll let the wardens introduce themselves as we go around in counterclockwise order, as we're wont to do. So, leading it off, the ringer, Nate.
All right, I am Nature D&D Ringer, playing Little Owl and Wizard Horton Abernathy. Last time, he told some juicy secrets and got a spell.
What spell did he get?
He got, from the Moon Marmots, Control Weather, which is a big spell.
That's a real big spell.
He's a real big boy.
He's just a little guy.
I was like, wait.
He lives big. He's got big aspirations. He eats chocolate-covered mice and reads in his spare time. We learned a little bit about downtime. Oh, downtime. Or what's the PC question this week? How about?
I don't know. What is the PC question?
Favorite place to vacation on the continent?
His grandma's library. Which
Man.
is different from, the lab that he set on fire accidentally.
Staycation for Horton. On brand. Love it.
Staycation.
Warrior.
Hi, I'm Warrior. I play Highland. He is a Minotaur, and he is a Draconic Bloodline Sorcerer. Last time on Drakewind Falls, he and the mysterious Drake bonded a little bit over that. Like, I sense some dragon in you. And I was like, I sense a lot of dragon in you. And that was a really nice moment that they had and shared. Highland, his favorite place to vacation, other than heading back home to Bolstros, is to go to Bronzino, a pretty chill vibes communal situation in the home province. It's pretty dope.
I heard they had great sausage too.
There's sausage, there's hammocks.
What more do you need?
What else do you need?
Nothing. There's brands.
I am Chrissy. I am playing Fern, who is a half-elf sorcerer cleric multi-class. Fern has not been many places outside of the bog. This is kind of like Fern's first big vacation. And what a vacation it's been. I got my feelings hurt real bad by a dragon last time.
He dunked on you.
Yeah. He did dunk on her.
Dunked on you so hard.
He dunked on me real hard, like multiple times. And then
Also,
just wouldn't talk to me. Well, I was trying to be nice.
To be fair, it's an extra burn because it's a drake and not a dragon. So like,
True.
And he didn't even recognize your drake pal that
that is because disguise is so good.
Like Joel level of disguise.
Don't get carried away.
All right, Joel.
All right, I'm Joel. I'm playing Becker Stokes. He is a human fighter cleric. Favorite vacation? What is this vacation of which you speak?
What is a weekend?
What is a day off? I don't understand. I don't know. Dracewind's been kind of okay. The places he's gone. They're quality benches to snap on. It's been all right. Plenty of dwarf bars. It's been good. Last time, he hurt a dragon's feelings and then took a nap.
He did. He napped so hard.
I like to before getting dragged off against his will.
I do like the percentage of your characters that take naps in the middle of my sessions. I am always pleased by the new and dynamic ways in which your characters take a snooze.
Does it really count if I'm knocked unconscious, though?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was talking directly to Joel. No, Nate. I mean, you just roll poorly.
Yeah, we just take a lot of involuntary naps.
Yeah.
Dirt naps.
Tom?
Is everybody
That's
almost
a different
dead?
kind of nap.
Is it?
And you're middle of
What if
combat?
you're napping on dirt? What do you
Take
call
a
that?
nap.
I think if you're also just dead, it's called a dirt nap.
Yeah, I mean it's used across several different functions.
Multi-purpose.
It's
A
the
multi-purpose
best descriptor
term.
for sleeping on a patch of dirt.
Yeah.
Some loamy topsoil.
Yes.
All right.
The NPC name, loamy topsoil.
Okay. So we are back. You guys are on your way to Drakewind Maw. As we mentioned last time, Drakewind Maw used to be called Drakewind Hearth, but over the years was plagued by a black dragon and discord in kind of some of the kind of ostracized members of the Drakewind Fall Society. They attempted to reintegrate. Some of them did. Some of them kind of became some of the diaspora that settled the rest of the continent. But in the last, half century or so, especially following the incident at the Maw with the Drake Wardens and the Great Betrayal, it's been mostly inhabited by hobgoblins. And goblinoids. There is a small settlement that's cropped up called Bonder's Gate. You guys know Bonder's Pass as one of the largest settlements outside of the falls prior to the kind of lowering of the boundary that came. What did we call that in Microscope?
Wasn't it called like the revelation or the revealing or something?
Yeah, the revelation. So prior to the revelation, this was not really inhabited, but Bonder's Pass, there's small kind of outfitters. You know that in addition to the goblinoids that tend to inhabit this, many of them part of the dragon cult. There are other humanoids and other creatures that live around here, and so Bonder's Gate is kind of a frontier town, a little bit for people that are interested in either exploring the Maw or going on further expeditions east of the Wing Whisper Mountains. So for everybody watching, the Wing Whisper Mountains are kind of one of the major geographic mountain ranges that go across the main continent. In addition, there is the Eastern Mountains, which is a good weeks travel between the kind of foothills of the Wing Whisper Mountains, where Drakewind Falls and the Maw and Bonder's Pass and the Gleaming Glen and the Merceive Wood are. Stretching out into the Eastern Mountain, where the Griffin Court is, where the predominance of the elves on the continent live, at least kind of what we would typically associate with elves. There's also water elves and all sorts of others, and the desert elves from the Alakarna. And then there's also out in the Eastern Mountains, we have panda folk in our world that are hanging out there. But this is kind of, we're at the foothills of the Wing Whisper Mountains, passing out of the Merceive Wood, and before we get to the Maw, there is Bonder's Gate. That will be your last stop before you enter the Maw, so you can gear up there. You can get.
You can take a nap there.
You could take a nap there. I mean, you got to get there.
Jesus, we need a nap if we're gonna go fight some fucking goblins.
How far are we from there?
Pub or otherwise.
You're about. You're still about a day's journey from Bonder's Gate. If you all want to make me so you kind of the Drake disappeared, and you found yourself kind of leaving the Merceive Wood. You found the moon marmots right before the moon waned, and in the morning you happen upon a caravan. The caravan is just three covered wagons. They're being pulled by oxen that are indigenous to this area. No relation warrior. You can kind of meet up with them. They are also heading to the gate, and they have been traveling all the way since Bonder's Pass. So they've actually kind of skirted through the pass in the Wing Whisper Mountains, and they let you know that they are coming all the way from Palmer's Creek, which is out by Harrison's Fjord, and the kingdom of the Aeshivan, the elves that lived in the fjord. So there's some elf guards that are coming along with this group, but they know that they have about 1 day's journey left before you reach Bonder's Gate. So
when you say in the morning, does that mean we took a long rest?
Oh no! You were the waning of the moon. Horton was able to kind of offer his secret of accidentally burning part of his grandmother's collection there just before the kind of last vestiges of the moon left and dawn kind of creeped over. As you were kind of heading out, the kind of edge of where the wood meets the kind of savanna in between the Maw and the Merceive Wood, you were kind of greeted with this kind of caravan that looks to be kind of coming from a kind of a southwestern location, kind of coming up northeast, heading up towards the Maw, which you were coming down from the northwest from the falls through the Merceive Wood. So yeah, it might be an opportunity. I mean, you could certainly barter with them for rest to ride in the caravans if their caravans aren't too packed. But you may also be able to help them out depending on what they feel about their kind of current stakes in terms of getting to Bonder's Gate. This area is pretty well known for having members of the dragon cult and goblinoids kind of roaming the savanna outside the Maw. And so you at least I would say, Becker, you're pretty familiar with that. I would say Highland, you're probably also pretty familiar with that. Fern, Horton, a little less worldly in terms of caravan protocol. So I would say that whereas Becker has been maybe a sellsword in the past, or at least a potential guard as he's been traveling, and obviously Highland has traveled a lot between Becca Ghoul and the kind of northern kingdoms like Bolsteros and Dalatun and Validus. You know how the game's played. How would you like to, or would you like to approach the caravan? Ooh, which one is that?
You guys want to approach this caravan?
I mean,
can do
can
it.
we? That'd be great.
I have experience hitchhiking.
It's either that or camp.
Ow.
And they're both kind of camping, if you think about it. Like, if it's just camping with wheels.
Yeah.
So, or hooves, which is how I camp all the time.
Fair.
So, you know,
You're just always
you
camping, really.
might have some food that isn't pocket toast. So you might, you know, be able to give us a little bit more comfortable place to stay, a little protection if you want.
That'd be great.
Great. Highland will like move out to like the side of the road and like just literally hitchhike, like six thumb up.
What
Sipping with his mug. The other hand.
is the percentage of short thigh he's showing? Are we talking like full thigh? Are we talking about zero thigh and a thumb? What are we looking at?
The robe is open, but he is wearing pajama bottoms. So
Okay. I didn't know if that was part of the calf, mid calf. I mean, Highland calf.
Highland hasn't been a calf for like 30 years.
Excellent. Okay, so yeah, you're rolling up, and as they come by, you see there's a kind of elder, grizzled human. Horton, can you roll me a D20 real quick?
1.
No, right in the middle, 10.
Hey, all right. So yeah, he looks to be probably in his 60s. He kind of appears to be the leader, and just as he's about to speak, a woman of similar ages kind of like pushes his face out of the way and says, "Oh, hello.
Hi.
I haven't seen many minotaurs on our travels.
Oh, well,
What are you doing out here?"
traveling.
You shouldn't travel alone. These are very dangerous roads.
No, I've got some friends with me. You know, I'm sort of the show, you know, when they're they're hanging back. But yeah, I mean, if you got a little bit of room, I've got you know, just got I've got this fills endlessly. It's full of best damn Janensis you're gonna have anywhere on the continent. If you want as much as you want of it, I could trade you that for some stowaway on your caravan. We could really use a rest. It's been a long day.
Well, my name is Mulberry Childs. This one is Bug. And I think that we could do that. Let's make a deal. We have 3 caravans. 2 of them are filled with goods that we're bringing to the gate to sell and to barter and to bring back. But one we could accommodate 2 of you. So maybe 2 of you stand guard, 2 of you sleep, and we'll make our way to the gate together. And then when we get there, perhaps we could engage in a bit of commerce. Or if you're willing to escort us back, we can always use a couple of extra hands around here. You know, the elves are very protective, but they're also very stodgy.
Really? Oh, I've always found them refreshing, if I'm being honest. But that, hey, you know, different strokes. And you know, I think we're probably gonna press on from the past. So I think that's where we part ways. But you know, I'm if you need a little bit of help, maybe I could help you make some extra room for my other 2 friends here. We can trade off. We're happy to guard, but you know, I'm trained in the ancient art of Tetris, which is basically like a school of thoughts about arranging things in aesthetically pleasing straight lines and rows. And when you get good enough at it, it's like the goods almost disappear. So, you know, I think between that, I think that'd probably work out. Sure.
All right. So you guys can basically choose amongst the four of you which two are going to rest. You're going to have a half day's journey, so you'll be able to get a full rest in, assuming that there's no interruptions. Two of you can rest for the first half of the day. You should make it there by nightfall to Baldur's Gate. And so which of the two of you would like to rest and which two would like to help out with keeping a couple of perceptive eyes on the road?
I'm going to throw it out there that I am not very perceptive and that I have 1 hit point.
I mean, I have a +5 to perception, but we all know how I roll, so...
And
Where are we all at hit point wise?
I have 11.
Highland has a hit point.
I'm down there with Warrior.
Okay. I have 15.
Oh.
Yeah,
But-
you're
Well,
Current.
if I can rest,
What do you get off my desk?
I'm not on your desk. I can healing word a bunch if I'm in a rest. So because I've got 2 spell slots, and then I can make 6 more spell slots with sorcery points. So I could heal whoever wants to. I mean, I guess I could help me, but then I won't have any level 1 spells or sorcery points, which leaves me again at a disadvantage. But I can heal whoever up. I even got like I could do like 9. I got some 2 and 3 spell slots too, so I can really juice you up.
Look at the big sorcery on Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Are we also exhausted? at
Don't
this
knock
point?
my dice on the floor.
Oh, I don't know, Horton. Why don't you roll me percentages?
Wait, it's 2.
Wonderful. Get off.
I can do 8. Let's do 8. 8 healing words.
Huh. Well, right down the middle again with 50.
Yes. You are exhausted, but only 2 of you are exhausted, and I'm going to roll a d4, and I'm not going to tell you which 2 are exhausted. You can
We don't have like the inner sense of being to know that we're exhausted.
I mean, right now, Highland, you're both mentally and physically exhausted, but you don't know how much further you can push it.
I feel like I can't push it very far, and I'm not keen on trying. So
All right. Well, I mean, hey, listen, this could be a walk in the park on the way to Baldur's Gate. So, if you sleep through the trip, either in the the morning, to the early afternoon, or into the evening before we get to the settlement, that's all good. Mix asks a good question. I would love people's ideas about this. Standing guard. Do we go for perception, or the big guys go for intimidation? I don't think we do that a whole lot.
I'm very intimidating.
Like standing
Yeah.
intimidatingly at the edge.
I don't know how intimidating we are.
Well, I mean,
Sure.
we personally aren't, but have you guys ever used that for? I've never really used that for like any of my big characters. Like when we're, when you're on a caravan on guard duty. That's a good. I never thought about
good
that.
idea.
It's not too shabby. Yeah. All right. So, which 2 are starting on guard duty, and which 2 are starting on the ancient art of Honk Shoe?
I volunteer to sleep.
I mean, I can be on guard duty since I am not at death's door like the rest of
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'll join you.
Fern
gonna
and
Oh boy.
Guard.
Horton and Fern, dream team.
wait, Becker, did you say guard or did you say sleep?
I was going to say Becker would Becker, which means he would take guard.
Okay.
I thought that would mean he would sleep.
Fern or Horton, would you like to take Becker up on his offer to go first?
Horton,
I
what's
don't
your
know.
perception?
Not as good as yours.
Maybe you should take a nap first.
All right. I mean, I'm feeling pretty energized after those moon marmots, but I can sleep.
Okay. All right, so Fern, Becker, you are going to take the first watch. You are kind of integrated. Mulberry says, if one of you can go as the kind of front guard, one of you can stay rear guard. The sleeping caravan is the one in the middle to keep it most protected by anything going on, because the childs they value everything that they're bringing with them, but the most valuable treasure obviously is the friends that we made along the way. So
They're artificers?
yes. Okay, so you've been traveling for some time across the kind of foothills here. You're making your way east across the kind of area between the Merceive Wood and the Maw, kind of heading in a kind of northeasterly direction. As you are kind of moving along, for Fern and Becker, would you like to talk to people, or are you mostly kind of keeping an eye out? How are you conducting yourselves on this most auspicious of duties?
Becker is holding on to one of the wagons and kind of hooking his hand in, so that one, he'll know how fast he needs to walk, and two, if his feet go, he'll still be with the wagon. So he's mostly going to be focusing on just quiet and super attentive to pick out he's full perception mode and scowling up a storm, so that if there are bandits, if they saw him, they'd be like, maybe not.
Fern is perched up, eagle eye, just trying to keep an eye out as far as she can see.
Okay. You, Fern, meet your companion, elf companion's name is Heian, Heian, and introduces herself, and can see that you have kind of a keen eye out, and she talks you through everything that they've been looking for throughout their journey. Talks about goblinoids and where they typically hide. Talks about they've seen roaming packs of kobolds lately, and says to be wary of them. That the dragon cult is bringing in kind of more and more kind of beyond some of the the kind of draconic beings. They're kind of branching out and finding more foot soldiers. And as we've talked about before, there's basically two different tracks. There's the kind of original dragon cult, which is really devoted to resurrecting the undead dragons. And then there is this new cult, which is kind of much more en vogue and really kind of recruiting hard, just focusing on unleashing Tiamat, bringing Tiamat back into the prime material plane. And that's the one that
doesn't really seem like a thing we need to do.
No, I mean, it would not be good across the board. Not for Drakes, not for any of the settlements, et cetera, et cetera. So you're able to kind of chat with her a little bit. I'd love for you to make me a perception check at advantage, because you know what you're looking for.
Ooh, advantage.
Yeah, it's a rare. Well, actually, oh no, you're just gonna make it regular because somebody's exhausted.
What? I didn't think I was exhausted.
And yet, when you look off into the distance, you find yourself looking for what Han has mentioned, but your eyes are a little foggy. Having trouble. Is it a Christy roll?
It's a 10, so we're good.
Pretty.
That's with a +5.
You it's with a +5.
Yup.
You find yourself struggling. You can
Like a fucking branch sweeps me off the top of the wagon, probably.
the time that you spent engaged in battle and the kind of time since you've had your last rest in Drakewind Falls is really starting to wear on you. And Han can kind of tell that this is going on, but she kind of pushes you to be able to identify these things and kind of points things out a little bit and is helping you along the way. Becker, you on the other hand are walking along, holding on to the cart, and you hear an elf from their perch on top of that say, "What's the matter, dwarf? Weren't you ever taught to walk properly? One foot in front of the other. It's not that hard. If you'd like, I could come down and show you, or you could sit up here. Though I doubt that you'd be much help with a bow." On Joel's faces.
Becker's going to look up and be like, I'm not sure what someone who can't tell the difference between a human and a dwarf really knows much about walking or anything else. So I'm probably fine.
Oh, my apologies. You just look so short, stout, and lazy. I couldn't tell the difference. Are they paying you? Or is this a charity case?
This is just me volunteering to provide protection for a caravan that really only has elves. So,
We've been more than enough so far. Human, is it?
I'm sure your witty banter kept all the villains away.
Well, we do what we must. It seems to have worked so far. But it's nice to have, it's nice to do good while we're here on the path. Escort those less fortunate to safety.
That's exactly why I'm here.
She laughs and she says, "You stay on your feet. You put all of your energy into that, and we'll get you to a nice warm bed soon."
Don't know why. I'm tip top.
So Joel, can you make me a perception check at disadvantage? Ironically, I rolled a 3 and a 4, and you guys are the ones that have a level of exhaustion.
So if I'm rolling for perception, and this is the thing I've never really understood, when do you use passive perception versus rolling?
Okay, so passive perception is basically the perception score that you have at all times. So if you are moving along a path or you're moving through a dungeon and I would ask you for your passive perception, that would be your kind of regular kind of attuned to the environment perception. So would you notice things that are happening around you on a regular basis? So perception itself is you concentrating on perceiving the environment around you. So beyond your kind of passive interaction with that, some races are more naturally attuned and kind of have more latent sensory perception. Whereas if I'm asking you for a perception check directly, it's saying that you're being intentional about examining the environment from a sensory perspective.
All right. Passive at 16.
Yeah.
Actively looking, it was 16, but then you made me roll again, and it's an 11.
Yeah. So you are kind of walking along, keeping pace, jaw jacking with this elf, this female elf that's up on top of the lead caravan. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
You know,
Did
I
the
feel
branch sweep you off as well?
I feel like now's a good time to use my inspiration.
I feel like you're very inspiring, Becker. Very inspiring indeed.
17.
17, excellent. So as you are walking along, actually make me an acrobatics check. You can just make it a regular acrobatics check.
I mean, isn't that the same check?
Well, but not at a disadvantage. I'm saying you don't have to make it a disadvantage because you rolled a 17.
Oh, gotcha.
What do we got?
Any chance you want to reward me with inspiration, like in between?
No, but if anybody else has inspiration, they could totally give it to you.
I want to see what happens. Sorry, I'm into it.
It's a 6.
It's a 6. Okay, so your perception very attuned. You realize that the elf is doing her best to distract you. You're starting to encounter some pretty rocky outcroppings now. There's some small trees that have been felled across the path, and so it's a bit bumpy right now. And you can tell that looking around that this is meant to be as a distraction for you. So as you're walking along, you see a branch just as she starts kind of talking to you again to distract you, and are able to kind of pop over it, but you catch your foot on it and stumble a bit. Thankfully, she's looked away for just a moment and kind of stares back down as you're continuing along. You're able to kind of collect yourself before eating a face full of a dirt nap.
It's the curl power of having your hand attached to the...
Yeah. You do feel yourself kind of dragging for a moment there. And if you didn't have your hand kind of attached, you probably would have eaten it right there. So, okay. So we move along throughout the day. Oh, go ahead, Becker. Do you have something?
No.
Okay. So we move on throughout the day. They kind of make camp in kind of the kind of early afternoon so that everybody can eat. Horton, Warrior, you have a full rest. You're able to gain all of the advantages in regaining your HP, your sorcery points, any wizarding spells as you go on. Becker and Fern, you can chat with Horton, Highland, anybody else. We're going to have a turn over here before we head to Bondur's Gate for this last little bit. Yeah. Anything that you need to exchange before we move on here?
How much time do we have left before we get to Bondur's Pass or Bondur's Gate?
Bug kind of walks down and kind of gets down on his knees. He looks very kind of gentle and says, "Well, my little friend, we will be there by nightfall. It's been a long journey, but I'm glad you could join us for the last little bit. Did you have a good rest?"
Yeah, I mean, why are you talking down to me so much? I'm just tiny.
And just as that happens, Mulberry just like walks through, and she's just like, "Leave the poor boy alone. We've got plenty to do, and you're wasting a bunch of time, Bug. Oh, you don't need to hobnob. I need you to make sure that we have everything packed back up so we can get there before nightfall." And Bug just kind of like says, "Sorry. I'll see if we can forget." Just kind of walks off with his head down a little bit, like Fern style.
The Charlie Brown theme plays.
Well, morning, Horton, or afternoon, or
Good evening. Yeah.
I don't know what time it is.
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty rested. We could probably let Becker and Fern get a short rest at least, right?
Yeah, sure. I feel good.
I mean, did you give us a ship pile of hit points?
I did before I went to sleep.
That was helpful.
Because it's less important that I take a nap now, but I can.
You can hang out if you want to, whatever.
I absolutely do not need rest. That frickin' elf.
What about the elf?
Nothing. I'm good.
You
Like,
don't
I don't
sound
need
good.
rest, I need vengeance.
You sound perturbed.
Nope. Tip top.
Okay. I feel like you're lying to me, Becker. I thought we were closer than this.
I'm a little aggravated.
Okay. Are you gonna rip their arms off?
Frickin' elves.
Becker, do you just need a snack? Do you need a Snickers?
Probably. King size?
I've got a mouse candy if you want one.
It's pretty much the same.
I have pocket toast if you don't want that.
Mitch stop by and said, also, Becker, don't go committing any war crime. Winks.
Never. Not once. Have never, will never.
You are very disarming.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like too soon
Peacekeeper.
to laugh.
Okay. So, Becker, are you willing to take the rest, or are you just trudging on through this?
How long are we kind of camped sitting here for? An hour, 2 hours?
No more than an hour. If you're going to make it to Bondur's Gate before nightfall, which is probably about 8. It's about 8 hours. You'll get there just before kind of 9 p.m. Sundown. It's going to be dusky by the time you get there, so they don't want to waste too much daylight.
Yep, that's fair.
And a short rest is nothing for exhaustion, right? We need a long rest for that.
That is true. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't need to rest now that I have had healing, courtesy of my good friend Highland.
Yeah, the healing is going to make up for a lot.
You don't have stuff that resets on a short rest, do you?
No, and also I'm not giving the elf satisfaction.
Also fair.
All right. Everybody's up.
Is
I'll go back.
is there
Okay. Alan's going back to sleep.
do we have enough time for me to attune to the ring I picked up? Isn't that about an hour?
Oh,
I forgot you had that.
it's gonna be longer. But how long have you had it now?
I mean, over 24 hours.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that probably about midway through we'll probably hit about 24 hours. So I'd say before you get to the to Bondur's Gate, you're gonna be attuned to it.
Okay.
Can you remind everybody of the ring?
It is the Ring of the Dark Knight. White gold set with polished onyx. Advantage on dex checks made in dim light or darkness. Ring has 3 charges and regains them at dusk. 1 charge can be expended as an action to cast darkness.
Great.
And it makes your voice gravelly.
No, but I believe if somebody hacks off an arm, I'm totally okay.
My name's Becker. All right.
Alan,
They don't always get. I got a smirk from Nate, but it's good.
Alan will go up to Becker and be like, kind of maybe toward the tail end as people are getting ready to get back on the road. He'll just be like, hey, which elf?
Oh, I'm chill.
Which elf was it? I'm not asking if the elf was a witch. I'm asking you which of the elves was being a dick to you.
I don't know their name, but the one up front.
Okay. Highland will kind of once. Well, I don't know. He'll do something once they get on the road. But
Okay.
if folks have stuff to do before we get on the road, I don't want to.
Yeah. Anybody else? You have about just around an hour of downtime. They don't want to take too much more than that, but in order to kind of break camp and kind of set up the caravan defensively, takes a little bit to do that. Get the
Highland,
food out, things like that. So if you
Highland-
want to talk to anybody or interact, yeah, let me know.
Highland will additionally spend that time filling up whatever canteens or kegs or whatever they want their genensis in. They'll just do that while they're resting.
Are you asking them or are you spiking there?
Oh, asking them. I offered to
Okay.
give them a supply.
Yeah.
I don't dose people. I don't spike the punch. I value consent in all forms.
It's fair. They're very happy to have that. There's a small kind of private cask on each of the caravans. They have some water that they carry predominantly in the caravan where people sleep, and that's where they mostly kind of unload some of their additional kind of food stores and cooking equipment and things like that when they're kind of breaking for the kind of midday meal. But in return, cured meats, the finest of cured meats.
Oh, man.
You recognize these from Bronzino as Sausalito meats, and oh, what meats they are! The finest dried goods in the land. You've not tasted such delicious meats since your vacation to Bronzino, but the moment it hits your lips, man, it brings you back. Bekagul, the sweetest of all of the kingdoms.
That just coats your lips all day. Nature's chest.
Yeah.
As soon as Becker downs food, he just goes about like helping him out with all the muscle work, like he's always been a part of this caravan.
Excellent. Becker, you are going beyond the kind of realm of being exhausted, and so I want to reward this, but I also want you to make a check. So, Joel, you can have inspiration because I think this is like so Becker. Like, even though he is like just dog ass tired, he's like, I will not give that elf the satisfaction.
Here, let me carry the feed up to the animals. Like, oh, that looks heavy. Let me get that for you.
Yeah. So why don't you make me strength checks? And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to do 3 successes out of 5. So I'd like you to make 5 rolls, and let's see how Becker fares. This is definitely montage material, Like Becker is hucking this and huffing that, and like really getting after it. So strength checks, not a disadvantage. You can make them kind of straight up.
We're starting with 11.
While he's doing this, can
Yeah.
I cast Unseen Servant to kind of help him out a little bit?
Absolutely. Yes,
Perfect.
absolutely. Horton, you can have inspiration as well. That's a beautiful little bit of magic to help out your buddy. So Becker, how about this? Why don't you make every other roll you can make an advantage.
Okay. Was 11 a pass?
11 is a pass for the first one.
Okay. 23.
That's a pass. Yeah.
18.
So yeah, Becker, you look just dog tired. You got bags under your eyes. You the female elf that was sitting on top of there, like everything that you're doing, she's just like poised to laugh at kind of what goes on, but you are kind of finding the strength to do that. Some of that you kind of recognize might be a little something extra beyond what you're doing, but like you don't ever let on that you're getting any help, and you just pull your weight as much as possible. And Bug is really super appreciative of everything that you're doing.
Fern is also going to cast Gust just so you look really majestic doing it.
Oh, majestic. Fuck. Fern,
So
you
I
can
get
have
like Miami Vice hair sweep.
Yeah, absolutely. Like your clothes are kind of like rippling in the breeze, and you got like the good like hair blowing in the wind, 80s like romance movie style.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very Fabio.
Who's
so good.
playing? Like just like Bob O'Reilly. Everything is great. Like you're just a stud.
You're like 2 seconds away from being on a bodice ripper. Okay.
I'm giving off those vibes the dude who chops wood on TikTok gives off.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is because I don't have TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't either, but I know. I feel like I know. Right here.
Whatever he posts ends up being a duet post with women just drooling.
That's why I'm not allowed to have TikTok because can't have that. I can't have that. Joel Becker is such a stud. He's just hauling, throwing everything. Is there a bucket of water to slow motion towel ring onto your sweaty head and chest mix ass?
If there is, I'll do it.
Horton, make me a perception check.
Ooh, 22.
Horton, you realize as Becker is doing this that like he's got it. So like you move your unseen servant that like when Becker like puts something down, it kind of like shakes a bucket and the unseen servant is like oopsie, and it just like cascades down like footloose on Becker, and he's a maniac, maniac. And they're like, all right, yeah. Mulberry's a little like kind of she's got the vapors, and Bug just kind of stands there looking sad. But Becker is really he's just killing it, man. He's out there just doing it, making it happen. Fern, Hyan kind of helps out as you are kind of getting everything set. You look, kind of like you're feeling much better. She brings over some foods, and you guys just bonding, just shooting the breeze, getting to know each other a little bit. Anything else people want to do before we do the changing of the guards, or non-changing of the guards, as it were?
I'm gonna make sure that Neil's sitting up front so he can get some good like ear flapping in the wind.
Oh yeah, Neil is having a day, man. You can tell that
yes, he is.
Some of the other folks on the caravan are really, kind of enjoying his presence. Really, kind of feeling, feeling. Neil's just, he loves life. He does. He's a big old doggo, and they see him as a big old doggo. So. They are enjoying his presence. The oxen are a little spooked when he comes around, but for the most part, he does his does as much as he can to act like a big old hound dog. And so let's continue on here. You guys. Continue moving through this valley in between the wood and the foothills out into the Maw. There's some folks that are kind of talking about making their fortunes in the Maw. That there is a tale of some of the inhabitants of the Maw since it kind of ceased being the hearth. That in addition to goblinoids, there's also rumors that there was a vicious red dragon that lived there named Salriss, Xalriss, and she was rather ruthless. This kind of area of the Maw began to be more destitute of other kind of frontier dwellers. Kind of making their living out here, and eventually, kind of fell to goblinoids because she would patrol the valley and kind of seek out any small, villages or hamlets that were kind of cropping up and just laying waste to them. The couple of dwarves that are here, and particularly, kind of sharing some of these stories, talked about how when Solrus was finally slain, that there were celebrations held, and really, people thought that they were kind of gaining the valley back, but that's when a lot of the goblinoids came and started to settle in, and it really ceased to be known as the hearth fully, and began to be known as the Maw, because the kind of tale was Solrus, kind of the kind of remaining embrace that she had on this area was something that would endure, and the kind of hearth had gone out, and so a lot of them are looking for some of these kind of treasures that were part of the abandoned villages, and then taken down into the Maw by the goblinoids and the cultists that were around this area. And then they also talked about the fact that it wasn't just goblinoids or other kind of humanoid races, but there were also wyverns and frankly, kind of greedy, kind of frontiers people that were really interested in laying a stake to this, and driving some of the goblinoids out. So there's been a lot of tumult in this region before Baldur's Gate was really formally established as the kind of singular outpost. It's well enough defended that some of these kind of roaming bands of kind of goblinoids and dragon cultists are kept out, and it's a good enough deterrent that there hasn't been any activity with kind of other settlements for quite some time. So yeah, why doesn't everybody who is everybody, first of all, is everybody kind of continuing to take up a kind of guard position, or are people trying to chat, or kind of get to know what's going on, kind of having some of these conversations?
Highland is technically watching, but he's also mingling.
Okay. So yeah, Highland, you're the one who's kind of predominantly schmoozing and kind of getting these stories as you're kind of moving along the different caravans. Horton, Fern, Becker, you're all kind of positioned with individual caravans. Becker, you're kind of still there in the front, doing your best to prove yourself. Horton, you are kind of there in the middle, hanging out and
Perched on top.
Yeah. The Childs are there. Bug and Mulberry are kind of riding high on the hog, and then Fern, you're with the kind of rear guard, chatting with Ryan again. So yeah, why don't Horton, Becker, Fern, why don't you all make me perception checks, and Fern and Becker, you're going to make them at disadvantage still.
20.
12.
13.
Okay. Horton and Fern, you are keeping a good enough eye out, but nothing too kind of extraneous. Becker, you have really kind of dialed in the focus, trying to continue to kind of show your worth, and see what's going on. And you see that after kind of traveling for this caravan for some time, as you're moving across the kind of greens of the valley, you're not seeing a lot of signs of wildlife anymore. It's gotten to be eerily empty. All of the kind of creatures that you saw previously, there's not much going on. As you're kind of continuing on just from your time with the kind of Green Rangers, kind of overlapping, you're recognizing that there are like far fewer tracks than there should be in this area. You also see kind of off in the distance ahead, there is a large tree that's been felled that's blocking the road, and there's some small scaly figures that can be seen milling about on it. Why don't you roll me a D10?
That'd be a 3.
All right. So you can see that there are 6 what you feel are probably kobolds. You see that some of them have slings and stone in hand. Others have small clubs, and they're kind of sitting on this felled tree, looking menacing.
He's going to give a quick whistle and be like, "Elf, you still awake?"
She looks down and says, "Please, I don't need to sleep."
She's an elf.
Have you spotted it already, or is it beneath your notice?
The tree or the 6 miscreants that think that they're going to stand in our way?
Both. Just making sure.
Screen seems awfully judgy.
And he's just gonna kind of pick up his pace and move up in front of the wagon.
Okay. So
You interrupt there too.
okay. So Highland, you are going to head up there too. As you reach it, you can see that there is a large tree that's blocking the path itself. Is about 20 feet, give or take, but you can see that you are kind of pulled up, and there are a number of kobolds that are perched here on the edge.
Yeah, I mean, Highland will walk up and be like, "Hey, how's it going? Y'all need some help with this tree? Or we got some wagons here that probably tow it or something."
How do you guys want to deal with the kobolds that are hanging out there?
Just chat it
Becca's going to be like, "I'm having a real bad day, fellas. Real bad."
You see one of them kind of stand out and like spin kind of at their side, this sling, kind of not doing too much, and looks at you and then kind of sneers and looks up at the elf and says, You give us shinies. We lets you pass. No shinies, no pass. Tell the non-shiny one, no talk or no pass.
Shinies. Okay. Vector's going to pull both hammers out and use thaumaturgy to have them like burst into extremely bright flame.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, man. All right.
I was just going to chat him up.
Becker, why don't you roll me a dexterity saving throw?
Oh, man.
And the rest of you can roll. Let's roll for initiative. Becker, a large kind of fist-sized stone comes flying towards you, and you just easily bat it away with your hammer. And the other kobolds kind of angrily start to run at the caravan.
Little man, that hurt.
Okay, Horton.
5.
Always good for it. Thanks, Horton.
Mm-hmm.
Warrior.
14.
Highland. 14. Highland. Fern.
4.
You are an inspiration, Fern. And Becker.
16.
16. All right. So let's roll for the caravan. Caravan is going to go at 8. And the kobolds are going to go at... Where's my kobold dice? They are going to go at... they're going to go at 13. All right, Becker, you are going... you're going first.
All right. How far is the closest one to me?
At this point, probably only 15 feet.
All right. I am going to close the gap.
Okay.
And 24 to hit
Yeah.
for 8 points of damage. And then I rolled a critical for the second.
Oh. Okay, so that's going to be full plus your roll again.
So that's going to be 19.
Okay. All right.
And his battle cry is, "I told you I'm having a bad day."
All right. So you take out the first one and just absolutely smash it in the face, and the other 5, like 3 of them like look undeterred, and one of them's kind of like, not know if this is a good idea. Highland.
What is wrong with you, man? They could have just been hanging on the tree. You and that elf are just as bad as each other, man. This is messed up. All right. Highland is going to cast Sleep on the kobolds that aren't dead.
Okay.
And it's going to cast it at level 2.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll some damage dice. Oh, those are good rolls. All right, that's 42 hit points of sleeping. So starting with, I guess none of them have lost any hit points. So starting with whichever one you want. If that eats up all their hit points, they fall asleep, and then you move to the next one. Repeat the process until you're out of hit points.
So they are like packing up and using their tactics to try to like flank you, and they're just and just one by one,
dude.
Thud, 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 thud. All 5 of them pass out.
Perfect, great. You're perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. See, Becker, how easy it is.
Yes.
Get blood on your hands or my robe. All right. Highland will he'll use his movement to kind of like start like gently like thoughtfully breaking them off the road.
Just arranging them in a nice pile.
Yeah, like a little cuddle puddle on the side of the road, and that's I think his turn. Like, you leave these kobolds alone, or they're gonna wake up. And
Someone's comment: kobolds learned tactics from 70s kung fu movies. Apparently, they did. Kobolds are not smart.
I mean,
They have a lot of moxie, but not
and
a
the
lot
best
of
thing about
strategy.
about kobolds is they've been like oh, we lost him. They've always been kind of used as lawful evil, but I actually like using them more like some like lizard folk where they're just like true neutral. Like they want like what they want, and they don't care. It's like, if I'm hungry, I need to eat something. If this person is attacking me, I will attack them. If they have something I want, I will take it from them. There's no conscience attached to the.
They also arguably set up some of the most chaotic traps in all of D&D, where you're just like, in what sort of Rube Goldbergian world did you think that was going to work, kobolds?
Exactly. Okay, so they're asleep, and now the one that's unconscious and the other 5 are just stacked like cordwood along the side. You guys do have a extremely large felled tree to clear. It's going to take probably, with the resources you have, a good half an hour to 45 minutes to cut through. And
how long was your sleep spell last time?
Can I try something, James?
Absolutely. Yeah, you tell me what you want to try, and I'll tell you what I want you to roll.
I'm going to use Giant's Might, which is going to make me a very big boy. And I'm going to try to pick up the tree and move it.
Let's do it, baby. All right. Let's make a strength check. Because you are big and mighty, I'm not going to have you do it at disadvantage. Let's see. 22. It's not too bad. Yeah, you're able to move it partially off the path. If you can make one more for me, we can see if we can get it all the way off.
16.
Yeah. Becker, you are like picking this thing up and just you are moving this with an ease that belies your size. You see that the female elf who has an arrow knocked, kind of continuing to kind of cover the caravan, spares a moment to watch you accomplish this. But it generally is kind of trying her best not to kind of look impressed.
So if the kobolds do wake up, I'm going to cast grease over by them so they can't get back up.
Beautiful. Horton, I think you've kept your inspiration, but that was a very beautiful move. Becker, if you've burned your inspiration, feel free to take another. Okay, so you're able to kind of generally make your way around this encounter. Are you doing anything else with the kobolds outside of just kind of stacking them up?
No, we got like 48 more seconds. So
I'm tempted to drop the tree on them, but I'm not going.
Swear to God, I will not enjoy that.
Okay, so you are able to continue moving along and find your way all the way to Bonder's Gate without too much additional kind of hubbub. You realize that when you get there, this is not the kind of luxurious outpost that you thought it might be. It is very much a frontiers town, and if you're going to kind of stay there for the night, as the child has mentioned, you're going to have to kind of grab some shut eye. They're planning on leaving early to head back, and they're kind of passing off their goods to a a sharp-dressed man named Eli Grimm. He comes out to join you as you kind of move through. Eli is a local proprietor. Joel, if you want to roll me a d20, that'd be great.
D20. 10.
Okay. So you he introduces himself and he mentions that he has a small town in shop called the Heroic Talisman. It is
Ooh.
a magic shop as well as a spelunking outfitter, and he is the one that distributes through the market everything that is brought to him all the way out.
Gonna go caving?
Yeah, if you want to go deep, ain't nobody like Eli Grimm help you out.
I hope that's what his business cards say.
Oh yeah. It literally says that he has like small enchanted cards that he gives to each of you, and it's just a little like winking Eli Grimm on there. It's like telling you all about the Heroic Talisman. You realize that the Heroic Talisman is one of the few kind of proper shops in town. There isn't a whole lot going on, but oh no.
Whose house is on fire?
Oh no. Warrior's on fire. But yeah, Eli has these little kind of trinkets that he gives you with his face on there. I think they have any mimic finders. You could always try selling them some. Gosh, good times. Okay, so every elf girl's crazy about stuff. You reach there. You can hunker down in one of the wagons, or they have some small campfires. You've gotten in pretty late, and most of the people that have come back from the Maw and the caves have actually kind of bedded down for the night. But there is some lodging a little bit further out of town that you can get if you'd like. You would have to kind of say goodbye to the caravan for now. If you're interested in getting up early, you could, but in general, this is kind of either the parting of ways, or you could kind of stay here for the evening.
Highland will just kind of go around, just make sure everybody's topped off, and then he'll sidle up next to the mean elf, and he'll sort of sit there on like a perch of some sort, like on a wagon or something. He'll clamber up there and sit down and be like, "Hey, I'm Highland. What's your name?"
She introduces herself as Melamne, Meliamne.
Wow, that's a beautiful name.
And says that she appreciates the strong backs and adequate minds that you brought to the caravan on the trip.
Highland's fine. His mind is adequate. He's like, well, yeah, I think we're gonna leave you here, but thanks all the same for the ride. I'm sorry you didn't like my friend. What kind of stuff do you like?
Oh, I like
Dogs?
Really? Yeah, dogs.
Yeah, dogs are cool.
She loves dogs. She likes books. She likes the satisfying sound of an arrow ripping through the flesh of her enemies.
Who doesn't love that?
Very specific. Yep,
Fascist.
that's really brings up an image in the mind.
Yeah.
Do you like Genesis?
I love Genesis.
Highland kind of discreetly, because he's got prestidigitates the elf's little mug or canteen or whatever of Genesis to taste different. And then he's like, do you like apples?
I love them.
He says, no Genesis for you. How do you like them apples? Bam! You just got Highlanded. And their Genesis tastes like apples. And then he just sort of sits there. He's like, I'm actually very self-assured, so I'm just gonna let you sit with his awkwardness for a while. I'm pretty good. It's a nice day.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention Shaggy's comment in the chat. Sign in the Magic Spelunker shop. Spelunkers know how to make the bedrock.
Yeah, there it is. That's good.
Ew. And then Mix went for the slightly more violent. Do you like apples? Sucker punches. I like them apples. All right. So she kind of scoffs a bit and hops down from her perch. And you see her kind of walking away. The Mulberry, kind of walks by and kind of, feels your calf a little bit and says, if you want a job on the way back, you let me know. We're always looking for a little extra muscle around here.
Whose calf is Mulberry feeling?
Your calf.
Mine? Oh, okay.
That's not a sexual thing. It's like literally your calf.
Yeah, no, I figured. Well, I can't reach my calf from down there. And I was just like, okay, well, that's good to know. I really appreciate it. Hope you like the product. If you do like the product, it's called Highland Blend. Look for it at retailers sometimes.
Eventually.
We'll be sure to stock it.
There's
It has such a robust flavor.
It does have a robust flavor. Yeah, if you ever find yourself in Drakewind Falls, the Beacon always has it. So sure to stop in and say hi to my friend Ferd. He'll treat you right.
Well, at least someone.
And his cook Merdinand.
You kidding? Bear.
Meanwhile, Bug walks by as she says, at least someone will, and kind of hangs his head and then walks over to Horton, kind of takes a knee and says, I'm glad you could join us on our journey, little one. I wish you all of the luck as you continue on. Don't dig too deep. You never know what you're going to find down there. And he hands you a little
thing.
Hands you a little pin, and it's got 3 blades of grass on it. And he says, why don't you take this with you as a good luck charm?
Okay, thanks. I'm gonna need all the luck I could get. We've been having some trouble.
He shakes your little wing and climbs on up into one of the wagons. So are you guys?
Sort of hops down and pats Bug on the back as he walks by and says, "Sorry to have secondhand emasculated you. It was nice to meet you. Have a good trip."
He kind of like nods and shakes his head and then like continues kind of shuffling off.
Do I know what this pin is?
You could make a roll for certain. You do not know what it is.
What am I going to add to that? Just intelligence, or?
What are you trying to learn about it? Are you analyzing it from an arcanist standpoint? Are you thinking about history?
Yeah, I think I'll go history just to kind of see if I know what it symbolizes, and that's a 25. So you recognize this
small pin as something that is kind of native to the continent. Oftentimes, it is used as a good luck symbol and kind of imbued with power. This is a kind of a charm that is used as people are traveling. So oftentimes a lot of different kind of hermits wear these. People that are kind of traveling salespeople wear these, and they have them kind of recharged when they go in to larger towns with ones that can actually imbue luck into these, and they use these on the road. You can tell by inspecting it that two of the blades are actually more vibrant, so you're guessing that it's already used one charge. But you can use this. You have two charges on it. Anytime you're carrying this this kind of pin on your person, anywhere on your body, if you roll a 1 on a d20 for an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can re-roll the die, but you must use the new roll. And you can't use it kind of back-to-back times. You can only use it kind of once, and you have to use the new roll. All right. And then how do we want to settle down for the night? You can purchase lodging. You can bed down here, buy a lot of the small campfires from various caravans that have kind of pooled up here in the kind of large kind of town square that's open for this this kind of kind of holdover, since they don't have kind of official kind of town gates.
You want to sleep inside? You want to sleep outside? I'm good either way. I can see everything. So,
I mean, the fires are right here. We don't really need to go anywhere to bed down.
Yeah, and I can sleep anywhere.
Okay, so if you want to bed down here,
Burn. Would you like to sleep inside or outside or separately together? Burn.
Fern.
Why can't I hear you guys?
I don't
Can
know.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Hold on. I can see your mouth moving, but I can't hear you.
Fern. Did you hear us that time?
I heard you. I can't hear anybody else.
You can't hear me. You can't hear my dulcet tones.
So sweet.
That's disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
So Fern, did you want to? They were asking if you wanted to bed down here.
Sure.
That's a ringing endorsement from Fern, honestly. So,
All right.
Sorry, I don't know why my audio is real weird right now.
I don't know. Okay, so you guys can bed down here. If you'd like to, if everybody wants to roll me perception, or if anybody wants to make conversation with folks to learn a little bit more, we can do that. And poor Fern disappeared. Alas.
Island will roll intimidation.
All right.
He's pretty good at intimidation.
Hello again.
Despite his nature.
Oh, I can
But I
hear
feel
all of
like
you now. That's exciting.
That's so nice.
So good.
We were just talking about what rolls we're going to make for the evening. So, but Highland, like his intimidation vibe is more like sort of a, like, this guy's so chill that whatever he's got must be super well protected. Kind of vibe. Like, he's not outwardly threatening, but he's just like very like secure and confident. He's not like darting around or like hiding things. He's pretty much like out there, absolutely like going from campsite to campsite as the evening allows. So I figure like he's going to go that route rather than try to pretend like he's going to notice something that you won't.
Sure.
So that's cocked. That is a natural 20. That's 27.
All right, Highland, tell me what you'd like to learn. I'm going to give you a couple options, and I'm going to give you kind of carte blanche for some of the things that you might be able to learn. You'd like to learn more about. Here's the option. Oh, if you have something that you'd like.
I had a couple of ideas, but please lay out your options. Add more options for me to choose.
Let's hear your options first.
Highland, I think, would focus on, since the crystal told him to come here, he would want to know, he'd be trying to get like a lay of the land that way, like what's been going on, whether rumors, is there, Drake stuff, is there Warden stuff, is there Dragon Cult stuff, whatever, that sort of thing. And I think he would also, to like even like ease himself in, he would be trying to see if any of them know his mom, and he'd be like, oh, they could like swap stories that way. Whether they were someone who met directly, or she did some adventuring act in their vicinity, and they, that kind of thing. So I think he's going to like lead with that, and then be like, I think we're going to head up toward the Maw. I don't know what to expect up there. You heard anything kind of vibes? I think that's where he'd mostly be headed.
Yeah, so you can kind of, and if anybody else wants to listen in on this, you can kind of supplement. But you're getting the kind of lowdown. Like, they kind of see that you have an air about you. They talk about how recently there's been a lot of kobold groups that have been out, packs that have been out, kind of roaming the kind of countryside, kind of smaller, little remote settlements have been attacked, and more they've been kind of growing audacious and venturing out of the Maw, kind of further and further into the valley. The dragon that had been in this area was slain in the last couple of years. And when you ask about them, they actually describe someone who sounds suspiciously like your mother. That they were in this place and were able to take a portion of the hoard that the dragon had stored in the Maw, out from underneath the gaze of the goblinoids and the kobolds that have been inhabiting the caves. There's a smaller dragon or possible drake that has seemed to have taken up roost somewhere in the valley. It's been attacking livestock, but hasn't yet really ventured as far as Bonder's Gate. But there's not much information that they have, just a lot of vague sightings and kind of whispers. The other thing that you hear a couple people grumbling about, especially Eli Grimm, is that there is a local, let's say, a hero that has kind of set himself up as the kind of lord and kind of caretaker of the lands, and that he has started to tax various settlements and kind of Bonder's Gate and caravans that come through as a measure of protection, as he has his guardians out along the way, but does not talk too much more about that, outside of the fact that they have their own guards, and that they, each have to pay, both the receiver and the caravan have to pay 10% of their coin and good when they come into Bondur's Gate if they've passed essentially through these lands. And yeah. Anything else that folks are interested in learning about or asking about before we go?
Well, Becker is going to cast Continual Flame on the fire that I'm bedding down at.
Okay.
And he's going to bust out his flask from much earlier on in our adventure that's filled with the really special house brew.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I don't deserve a swig of that today,
When do you?
when will I?
When do you?
And he did roll a 19 for perception.
Nice.
And if anybody comes by, he figures he'll just chat and see what they have to say.
Oh, man. I have to share this because that's too funny. Can't not do that, Highland.
Can I have a nip of that?
Private chat's fire. So, anyway, okay. So you're able to do that, Fern. Horton, anything that you want to wrap up here before we take a little napski?
No, Horton's good.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, oh, good, Fern. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, no, I don't think there's anything that
All
I
right.
think I can learn from this particular set of folk.
Becker.
One last thing.
Yes.
Hey, Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Works what I do.
The majesty of feet off camera.
Oh, ew. Sorry. No.
Not that kind of channel, Sarah.
Yeah. And with that, I think we'll end episode 11 of Drakewind Falls. We'll take a short break and be right back here in about a minute to chat and go behind the falls with our lovely players. You can catch us here every other Tuesday in the evening during our role-playing game weeks. Our next one will be the week of Monday, the 18th. We'll be back here on Tuesday, the 19th of July for episode 12 with all of our lovely players. Stick around, ask questions, toss them in the chat, F's in the chat, both for Sir Jordan and for Sarah's feet. And we'll see you.
Oh.
We'll see you shortly. Okay, we're back. Boom. Let's go super close-up mode. Oh, man, we're so good. This is Behind the Falls with all of our lovely players. Nate, Warrior, Huey, Christy and Joel. Hey, I'm James. Here's Drake Warren. And yeah, if folks have questions in the chat, please feel free. Otherwise, players, any questions for me about the sessions, favorite moments, frustrations, other general inquiries as we move into the second decade of this lovely.
First of all, how dare you? No, I don't have.
Okay, excellent, perfect.
I'm sorry, my audio was like real fucked up there for a
Yeah,
while.
Jesus.
Yeah, Kirsty, jeez.
I was trying to figure out because my phone, like one of my AirPods was connecting to my my MacBook, and the other one was connecting to my phone, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Wow, are you sure it wasn't user error?
No, it probably was.
It wasn't a Logitech AirPod.
No.
Can you imagine if they did make AirPods? They'd be called like Logipods or something.
Naja's over here. She's being chaotic.
Yes.
Is that chaotic?
Seems
Yeah,
like
it's
he's
all
playing
for
by the rules of your game.
I mean, while we were playing D&D, she was like stomping through my dice and trying to knock my iPad over. So
That's more chaotic. That's more of a buddy thing. This looks like Highland's idea of chaos. Like, whoa, man, this is getting out of hand.
she like drug this bird over to me and squeaked at me until we played. So gotta appease the Naja. Questions?
yes.
Anybody?
Oh, I was going to say Tetris was one of my favorite things.
That was delightful.
So good.
It's very high quality. There was a lot of good, inspiring work tonight, but that was one of my favorites.
I mean, the moment where we turned Becker into the like sex pot in a Danielle Steele novel was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Got a
And
little
how
flash
they
dance in
joined-
there.
A
Yeah.
joint community effort.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like we are winding down, but yeah. Other anybody else's favorite moments? Questions about what comes next?
Comes next.
Questions about magical items. I think that you got everything for it. That's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, grass gym badge.
Yeah, you don't know how to recharge it, but
You'll figure it out eventually.
you'll figure it out. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Well, and I feel like the little like tidbit about knowing that there's other dragons is useful because now when we maybe come across those dragons, we know who they are.
Yeah.
Versus the one we met in the woods that was just a dick and made me cry.
Yeah.
I don't think we
Maybe,
still
yeah, I
don't
hope-
know his name.
Nope.
We're just gonna call him Dick Dragon.
He
I
won't
don't
tell
know.
me, but he'll tell me next time. As long as I don't bring both of you, as long as I don't bring you smelly people back, tell me next time.
Yeah.
It's like the dragon's like, get better friends, and I'll give you my number.
And you're just like,
I'm like, yeah, I'll probably have good friends. I'm good
Well,
friends.
and the dragon was like, "Hey, next time I meet you, I'm gonna kill you, but I'll tell you
Yeah.
my name." So if we meet them as a party,
No, that's why I was saying, like, I probably wouldn't go back with you unless I wanted to kill you, which I don't think I do.
you don't think you do. Well, I appreciate that.
Dick Dragon is.
I mean, if like, I mean, I would say that a core tenet of Highland's philosophy, if one wants to grant him philosophy, is he's very like never say never. You know, it's like that seems premature. Like, I don't think I would. I can't imagine how we get there, but like, I don't want to like.
He doesn't deal in certainties. It's okay.
Anything could happen.
You know.
I think Richard the Dragon would actually go by Ricky.
Not Dick.
And also, I just want to celebrate that we went through an episode without any of you almost dying.
It's true.
I was
I know,
conscious this whole
none
episode.
of you.
Guys. That might be the first time.
Well done.
I've only almost died one time. I don't want to be painted with the same brush here as my
It's fair.
painter counterparts.
Also, somehow the time you almost died, I am the one that got you back to 1 hit point, which doesn't seem right.
It was a surprising turn of events, I think.
It
all
was.
around.
I was
It
surprised.
was like,
You
oh,
were
we're just
surprised.
we're getting like murked by a monster, and like now I'm alive again, and it's because Fern was alive.
And
enough.
Fern's still up. Ow.
Oh, this is
Fair.
crazy. This is
Bizarro
crazy. These
world.
woods are magic.
This makes me wonder if Richard Dragon goes by Ricky.
When he meets Professor Poffo, whoo, intense.
It also makes me wonder, is Thicky Steamboat Thitchard? Is Thitchard his real name?
Probably.
Checks out.
Think about it.
Probably.
Think about it. Deep cuts here at the end behind the falls. Any other thoughts or questions? We're a little bit later than we're usually hoping to go. One day we'll start at a reasonable hour and not have had a war zone in our neighborhood and a dog that does not like fireworks.
Do we need dogs?
I'm just happy that we all made it through awake, except for the kobolds. Thank you, Highland.
They should thank me. They would have gotten killed.
They would have Becker would have killed more than one of them, given the chance.
They attacked.
It's all about they didn't attack. They were just there.
Did they?
No, they attacked.
I believe that
He
you
launched a
ran.
rock at me.
They were like, I would like your shiny things, and you were like, look at my giant flaming hammers.
Shiny
I'd
things.
I'd say that was maybe more of a warning rock.
I mean, I had to roll a save. He was trying to hit me.
It's for sure.
It's not my fault he sucks.
True.
On that,
I sure got that
Nobody
elf
knows.
back, though. That elf is going to think again about being snooty.
right. We are here every other Tuesday. Drakewind Falls is a setting that we created using Microscope, created by Ben Robbins. You can check him out, LameMage, on Twitter, lamage.com for Microscope and all of his other delightful games. Let's go around the horn before we wrap up, and everybody tell them where they can find you. Tell them what you got coming up here in the next couple weeks before our next game on the 19th.
All right. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at CubiCleZombie. You can also find me on Monday the 18th on this very channel for a little Down and Outlands. Unfortunately, we had some folks not feeling well yesterday, but we'll be back at it on the 18th.
It's true.
At it.
True.
Speaking of,
It's even worse when I follow Nate directly. It's like really just a repeat. I'm Warrior. You can find me at WarriorMN on the socials. You can also find me on Monday the 18th for Down and Outlands, where I play a dead gnoll and a character from the 80s D&D cartoon. So that's fun. You can also find me on the FreeForge Discord. Just go to thefreeforge.com. There's a link right there. Lots of cool new programming coming up in the next couple of months. Stay Alive is tomorrow. It's an original survival horror TTRPG that is super tense, super dope, and it's at 7:30 tomorrow. And usually I'm there hanging out. If you want to hang out with me in a Twitch chat, but I won't be there tomorrow because secrets.
Ooh. I don't know
speaking
why I
of
just sounded like a ghost right there, but
I should cut earlier so I didn't blink, but my eyes got dry.
Steve's been a ghost.
Maybe I need wrist-stasis.
I am Christy. You can follow me on Twitter at Lady Christy and Instagram at Lady Christy K. I'm not streaming anything else right now except for this game, but starting to ramp up for Extra Life, which will be in November. I'm planning all sorts of fun things, including I think I'm gonna run a Magical Kitties game, guys.
Ooh.
Shit.
We got our. I'll show it on stream when I get on, but we got our plaques from Gillette's. Very exciting.
So good.
Wrapping up, Huel.
I'm Joel. You can find me on the various socials at Finger Twitchings. Yeah, that's all I really got going on. I'll be back here next Tuesday after next Tuesday.
Awesome. And hey, I am James. I'm your Drake Warden. Run this game, also play other games. We raise money for Extra Life. Raised 15,137 bones for Gillette's Children's Hospital that's been providing care here in the Minneapolis-St. Paul metro area for 125 years. We're really happy to have been a partner in raising funds to help kids and their families who need extended care, need medication, need to kind of be put up and cared for while they're battling various health ailments. So if you want to check that out, check us out, extra-life.org. Search for Known World United or any of our names. We're all on there. You can follow me on Twitter at HueyBeardWalks and Instagram at Up Your Architecture. As everyone said, we will be back here in 2 weeks on Tuesday and every other Tuesday all summer long. Be sure to subscribe or give us a follow here on our Twitch channel, Known World United. We're streaming every other week, RPGs, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and we have some other things coming up, as well as every Friday is Bad at Games with your King Ginger, where he's bad at games. Last week we were bad at Minecraft, and he got totally nerfed by the warden. He literally got obliterated with all of his stuff. It was pretty awesome. And then on Sunday morning, we do a stream called Prep School, where we talk about games that you're running, games that we're running, and how we can all run games that are more fun and more effective. So you can check that out every Sunday at 10 a.m. And then we'll be back here at 8:30, 2 Tuesdays from now on the 19th for more Drakewind Falls. And then, for everybody that's here from Dave Wonder Stream, I believe he'll be back next week, and he'll be back with me and your King Ginger and New Money Matt for a Core 4 episode. So check us out. Check out Feet Girl in the back. You can see her feet right down here. They're right down there. You can sit, you put them on OnlyFeets.
Come for the D&D, stay for the feet.
Joel, aka Becker, the Master's Armor, set awesome traps like Wile E. Coyote. That is true. He set a trap, but the warden has 500 hit points. So start seeing that T and relaxing those pinkies. We'll be back. We'll be back Tuesday. Anyway,
I see those feet again.
Yeah.
have a good week, y'all.